Everybody, this is episode 21. Fucking crazy. With my man, A Plus Hieroglyphic Souls of Mischief. My name is Tamal. This is our monthly build on mental health topics, which is we feel is definitely not discussed enough. So we've been doing this for a couple of years now. This is episode 21, and excited to use our platforms for this. So, like we were saying earlier at the top of the show, we trying to make it work with the workaround on a different page here. So it's all good. Why don't you tell everybody what this show is not?
What the show is not is we're not claiming to be experts. We're not diagnosing people. We're not doctors. We're not telling anyone what to do. We're not any better than anybody else. We're not perfect. We're just discussing the topic based off of our experiences, and we're here to share our experiences as well as learn from each other and whoever else may comment in the comment area. And we're just here to have a healthy discussion
Absolutely.
on a topic that has been largely marginalized in our culture, in minority culture, and hip hop culture. It's something that it's had more light the last few years, and that's a good thing. But it's certainly something that isn't talked about as much as it should be, and we believe it to be of tantamount importance. So we sit here and chop it, try to learn something, try to share something, and try to walk away better from it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. As we always say, take what you want, leave the rest. We're just here to grow, here to share and learn experiences, failures, and in a way that's just very easy, for everybody to digest. So this is our third segment on our latest topic, which is personal wellness, and it's one that's really, really important. So much so that we've done it. We're on our third segment of it, and we talked about, like, because a lot of times when we talk, we try to be about the solutions, but we also we share a lot about, like, some of the issues that we're dealing with in terms of mental health. So this particular thing was really about, like, let's look at some solution-based stuff and really try to look at some things in particular with personal wellness. It's like, what are the things that we're doing positively to help our mental health, and also look at some of the things that affect it negatively as well. So the first show we did on this was about, not just about, but we talked about I have it highlighted here: nature, sleep, setting boundaries as far as some things that really impact mental health. In the last show, we got into health checkups, which we thought were going to see the doctor, and we even said maybe people should have mental health checkups too, which I think.
Yeah.
We talked about the importance of spirituality in our mental health, and it being the primary thing, and then also optics, not giving a fuck. So where would you like to jump in at? I mean, you want to go over some more positive, like, do's, I guess, or you want to get into some of the things that we got some poor signs of physical health and things that impact poor signs of personal wellness and
Signs of poor self wellness.
yeah.
Yeah, we could. There's so much under this umbrella. So I'm down to go anywhere, man. Let's see.
All right.
Some of the physical signs of poor self wellness are constant fatigue. Physical signs, anyway. Constant fatigue or lack of energy, frequent headaches, body aches, unexplained pain, poor sleep patterns, unintentional weight gain or loss, weakened immune system, lack of motivation to engage in physical activity, poor hygiene, or neglecting personal care. Those are some of the physical signs of poor self-wellness. You want to stay there, or we can move on to go down the list?
Well, we see. I mean, we could stay here for a second. We've seen some of that, and I'll be honest with you. Like, this is very important for me. All of this is because I'm just be for transparency, like I'm trying to change some habits and do some things differently and stuff like that. And I'm looking at like my sleep is crazy, um, and sometimes I mean it's not like I'm up this all the time just working. I do work a lot and I work hard, but sometimes I'm just fucking around. I should be asleep. So so I'm looking at that, like I'm just looking because it's important, trying to grow here myself. Um, and then what's kind of messed up for me, family, is that when I tried to go to sleep recently at a reasonable time, I couldn't because I'm, used. So I got to kind of temper it down like a little bit. But
Yeah, I have the same issues,
yeah,
man. Like, I get up at a healthy hour all the time. I get up really early, and I still find it difficult to fall asleep at a regular hour at night. Um, some of that I attribute to, a person recently this year I stopped smoking herb, um, and that's kind of like I would always smoke before I lay down, and that's an easy way to creep into sleep, right? And without that, I find myself like, okay, I'll be tired and I'll sit in bed and I'll have the TV on until I start to get a little bit of tired, and I'll just won't get tired, and then
wow,
I'll turn out sometimes. So I realized, I figured that maybe the TV is keeping me awake. My girl hates the TV on, so she falls asleep mad easy. And so I tried like turning the TV off, and I would just sit there with my eyes closed for like an hour and a half, like, just not being able to sleep. It got to the point to where I started taking melatonin, you know, like, and magnesium to like get a natural drowsiness and fall asleep. So I certainly, I'm just wired, man. So I'll get up. I get up mad early. When I'm trading, I get up at like 5:30. If I'm not trading, I'm wide awake by 6:10. So anyway, so it's not like I'm sleeping in. But I'll work a whole long ass day. I'll drive to Oakland, and I'll be working with the boys at the studio, and I'll do whatever else I need to do all day. And so yeah, um, I, I'll just be awake at night, man, late. And so I started taking melatonin, and it works. It works.
oh wow,
It's natural. It's already occurs naturally in the
right,
body. So it's not like you're taking a drug or nothing. And it's basically the chemical compound that your body, that your endocrine system sends to your body to let you know it's tired and to make you drowsy. And so if you take it, you'll just get drowsy.
yeah,
So
I've heard people
yeah.
use it before, so it's dope.
Yeah,
That's
man. But yeah, but all that aside, sleeping is super
yeah,
important. If I don't, if it's a night where I can't get to sleep, and it's like, you know, I'm older, so like 1:30 is like late for me. I should have been asleep, especially if I'm getting up at 5:30 to trade. I'll get up, but I won't have the same pep in my step the next day, and I
yeah,
won't be fired. It'll take me longer to start firing on all cylinders, even if I'm in motion, to get fully aware of where I'm at as quick as I can in the morning while I'm moving. You're on autopilot in the morning, just doing what you got to do, getting things ready, driving wherever you got to drive, this and that. I found myself, I definitely notice when I don't get enough sleep, and I don't have the same energy level throughout the day too. Like, I'll still be doing everything I need to be doing. It just won't feel the same. I won't feel like I'm at 100%. Also, recently I got like a sleep tracker, something that monitors your sleep health and your heart rate and all of those things. It's one of those smart devices, and it lets me know in the app, like, this is how long you had REM sleep. This is how long you had deep sleep. This is, you woke up and was moving around at this time.
oh
Um, and it kind of measures that, and I've been looking at that. I've had it for a few months now. Just specifically, it monitors a bunch of other different things, but one of the most interesting things in it for me is, like, it monitors your stress levels, whether you're in a restorative state or a relaxed state, an engaged state, or a stress state. And I get to look at those metrics and those analytics, and tie them into what I know I was doing at that time in the day to see what different things affect me different ways physiologically, which actions I take in life. Like, you know, if I get out to take up the trash, my heart rate goes up because they're moving, you know, like whenever I'm active, I'm doing something, and I get to see all of these metrics. Now, granted, these aren't things that I wouldn't recommend everybody rush out to buy it unless you thoroughly could afford it, because it's not cheap. But we don't need these things to do the regular things that we know we need to do, which are like get the right amount of sleep. You know, if you're going off of 3 hours of sleep for a week, you know, like one thing I always say too, I learned this from being on tour. Like sometimes we'll operate on very little amounts of sleep because we get in mad late from the show. We got to get out and start moving to the next city mad early. And that's if you're not on a bus tour. If you're on a bus tour, then you sleep on the bus during the transit, but that's pseudo sleep anyway.
Right.
Because you're moving on a moving thing and dreaming about being in space shuttles and shit. You know, it's not real sleep. So like one thing I noticed is that like I'll still operate off 3 hours, off 4 hours for weeks at a time. But when I get home, my body wants all that sleep back. There's been times I straight got home and slept for 14 hours straight, you know? Like like we try to fool ourselves that like, all right, you could be a workaholic, and to me, I'm an advocate of working hard. I'm a Jamaican, bro. We work.
Right.
If you don't work, you're lazy to me. You know, straight up. There's no way around it. I think you're a bum.
Right.
You know, if you don't work and you sleep in and you broke, I think you're a bum. But if you're working a lot, I'm not against that, right? So work as much as you want, but like know that your body needs that sleep back. It's not gonna forget it. And if you don't give it, like you may even forget in your mind and like, you know, but your body takes in the fact that it didn't get that rest. And if you don't start giving it proper rest, that's you know, we'll break down faster than we would have as we get older. And that's people at my age range, that's the thing I'm concerned with. And even young people should be concerned with this too, because they're going to be our age one day as well, God willing. But when you don't get the proper sleep, your body doesn't forget it just because you did.
Right.
You know,
right.
And I know that to be a fact. I could be walking around fine when I get home, and all of a sudden, home off a tour, all of a sudden I'm like, I'm gonna take a nap and be out 14 hours straight. You know, so yeah.
Let's talk some of the behavioral signs of poor self wellness, such as mental and emotional, persistent stress, feeling overwhelmed, increased anxiety, mood swings, irritability, frequent frustration, excuse me, feeling of sadness, hopelessness, numbness, like an apathy, difficulty concentrating, making decisions, negative self-talk, low self-esteem, loss of interest in hobbies or activities once enjoyed. So yeah,
man. You know, that reminds me, I saw something online the other day. There was like, it's just interesting. I don't even really know my full take on it, but they said if you're busy, you can't be depressed when you're busy, or something like to that effect.
right.
And then the flip side of that is it's hard to work when you're depressed. Is what is the common thought on that.
Right.
But what made me think of this is so the stuff you just read.
Well,
it was kind of off. It's kind of off topic, but I just thought it was interesting. I'd never thought of that. It's like if you're working hard, you're too busy to be depressed. And I thought about it. I was like, you know, when I'm in motion, just doing what I need to do, I'm not really thinking about how I feel too much. I'm too much in the moment.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just getting it done. I was like, damn, there seems to be initially some truth in that. At the same time, I'm not trying to discount people's feelings of depression. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, I think it's so. Yeah, I think we always say, and I say it a lot. You know, two things can be true, right? So at the same time, so I think you can like you said, if you're working, you're in the moments. You're not necessarily, you know, depressed. But of course, if you've gotten depressed at some point, then certainly it's going to be much harder to kind of jumpstart and get going to be working on something. That's why you're depressed. So So, you know, they both go hand in hand. Now, if you obviously it's to kind of keep that train going, but and then the other thing is we don't want to discount this. I mean, obviously you can still be busy and be depressed and still be working and be depressed. I mean, so people, you know, I've been there. I mean, like, so that's possible as well. You know what I mean?
Word.
So, or like,
Agreed. It
yeah.
was just it was an interesting phrase. I'd never heard it before, and it made me think.
But the essence of it though, I mean, because we're nitpicking it a little, we're kind of picking it apart. But like the essence of it is yeah, like, yeah, be in the moment, like, 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 because again, depression is what typically a focus on us, right?
Self.
Like, so like it's, you know, not it's not. So yeah, if you're in the moment, or I've even said like if you're helping other people, how you even thinking about? I'm not thinking about my own
Facts.
shit.
Facts.
I'm
Like helping. That's why helping other people. Well, that's one of the reasons why helping other people is so therapeutic, man. It's like whatever you do. If you're genuinely helping other people, you're literally not focusing on yourself, and it's hard to be looking at all of the things that you feel are going wrong with you when you're genuinely helping someone else. That's one of the reasons I believe service is so being of service is so valuable to the soul personally. You know, it's like it's not about what you're getting; it's about what you're giving, and your actual spiritual focus is on that. So it can't be focused on a personal lack or
right,
feeling of lack.
right. And it's funny thing is, that's just a byproduct of helping other people. That's not even the whole point of it. You know what I mean? Like, it just so happens that like you again focus on something else. Because again, the way they say like, you know, I've what is it? I got what's the saying? Like I've something about a man with no shoes. I was disappointed I didn't have any shoes until I saw a man with no feet type shit. Like like
Yeah.
it's perspective, man. Like, you
I'm
know,
cool. I'm cool. I'm good.
like yo, like I look at my situation, I'd be like, damn, like, you know, my pops always says, man, like it could always be worse. He always says that it could always be worse. And you know, so but just going back.
My pop said something similar. I can't remember the exact words. It's like, bro, I kind of grew up like being like kind of raised to be able to look around and be like, bro, is it that bad? You know, I grew up in Oakland, man. It's like you didn't have to look far, you know. And I'm pretty sure that's the same with anybody in any city, but I'm just talking about mine.
Yeah.
And I ended up doing the same thing to my son. I was like, bro, like when you think things are bad, yeah, you got to power through them, but be grateful still because you ain't got to look far to see how bad it could be
Yeah.
for you and how bad it isn't
Yeah.
for you. You know?
It's some people got it really fucked up, like, you know what I'm saying, and there is no ending of that in sight for them. You know what I
Nah.
mean? There's situations out there, you know. So
And again, I'll stress it. One doesn't really have to look far. You know, it's not like this search, bro. You could just look right over there, you know, and I'm like, oh, I'm good. You know, I'm doing great.
right.
I thought I felt bad, but I think I'm all right.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's all we need. So let's see. But I like that what you brought up though. I mean, in terms of just the original point, as far as like, yeah, if you're busy, you're working. I mean, yeah, like, I mean, the overall point is you're focused on something else. But now I did want to add on to that though, is like, and I've done this too, like we don't want to just work to try to get rid of a depression. Like work.
Nah, it doesn't work like that. I mean, activity, like, well, stagnation leads to atrophy, right? So you don't want to just wallow.
No.
You do want to you want to move, but specifically only working to deflect
Right.
and not deal with whatever one may be feeling. That's not the solution.
Yeah, yeah.
However, movement and action is the road to the
Yes, sir.
solution. It's tricky. It's
Yeah.
tricky.
It's all about intention though. You know what I'm saying? In the end, the one action can have several different effects. I mean, excuse me, not several different effects. One action can be based with several different reasons. I mean, you could kill somebody, right? But like one person may go to jail for that murder, or another person may, be a hero for that murder. You can come on with a medal on your chest, right? So
Yeah.
the same action of taking someone's life can bring about different results or whatever. So my point is that like, you know, yeah, you see what I'm saying? I mean,
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
so where are we here with this?
Social signs of poor
Yeah.
self-wellness. Withdrawing from friends and family or social activities, feeling lonely even when around
Mm,
others, difficulty expressing emotions or communicating needs, being toxic or being in toxic or unfulfilling relationships, struggling with or maintaining boundaries, which is something we talk about a lot
right.
here.
Right.
Boundaries. So yeah, social signs and yeah, yeah, man. Yeah, I have to totally agree. The times that I have been in toxic and unfilling relationships, because I've been in some good relationships that went bad for whatever reason, but I've also been in toxic relationships I should not have been in, but once I was in, I shouldn't have stayed
Yeah.
in. And looking back, I wasn't caring for myself well by remaining. So the one line about being in toxic or unfulfilling relationships but staying in them, that is, I'd have to agree, a sign of poor self wellness, because and it's a case by case basis, obviously, as every relationship is. So I'm specifically talking about the ones where they were toxic,
Yeah.
not ones that just went bad because it didn't work, and they were great people, and it didn't work, But I've been with a few toxic people, man, like really toxic. I've been the toxic person, so
Yeah.
there's that, and that's also being toxic in a relationship is also uh poor self-wellness as well. I guess, like you said, these things aren't mutually exclusive.
Right. Right.
But it is, I wholeheartedly agree, it is a sign of poor self-wellness, because when one is treating oneself well, you don't put yourself or allow yourself to remain in those situations, and furthermore, you don't do that to other
Right.
people.
Right. No, that's funny because that's out of those five points there. That's the one I immediately went to as well. Being toxic or because it's like a big sign, right? Like because obviously if we stay in something that's like crazy or whatever, so super unhealthy for us, everyone's like, yo, why like I have a friend like that right now, and it's very painful to watch.
Yeah,
Like
likewise.
it's like, and you realize you can't. And I'm a fixer, like I'm a problem solver type of person, and
Can't
so
fix
like
that.
you can't do.
They got to do that, and you kind of just got to watch the carnage
Yeah, and
and pray for the best.
it's hard,
It
bro.
is. It
And,
is. It's hard. It's I want to say not sad, but saddening. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And like I guess you could call it sad, but that's kind of like disparaging to the person, because it's more saddening than it is
yeah,
sad. And I've been there. I'm pretty sure people was like, why is he with that person? Why is he around them? Why is he with them? Like,
yeah. It's
yeah. So
yeah, and then we've talked about like the lies we tell ourselves, and then so it's like this person will tell me like share like the most inexplicable reasons and stuff. Like it only make. But again, it's wild. So I was just saying, yeah, just watching that is tough. But that's a big sign of terrible self wellness, personal wellness, or whatever. Because yeah, when we love ourselves, like ourselves, even we will, we're not gonna we're not gonna tolerate that type of
yeah,
stuff. We'll for strong, for oftentimes the first sign of something crazy or whatever, we're out. You know what I mean? But
yeah.
yeah,
That falls right in the bracket of self esteem. Like you're not feeling too good about yourself somewhere subconsciously if you allow yourself to be treated poorly. Um,
Of
and
course.
and we're saying it mad simple. It's not that simple, obviously, for people in these situations. I mean, I guess it is that simple, but it's more difficult than that.
Right.
Like, it's difficult to get out of those situations, even if what needs to be done is not very complicated. The actual action of it proves to be difficult in those situations. And for me personally, in my personal experience, I can clearly see that staying in those kind of situations was totally a lack of self-esteem in that
Yeah.
area. Totally. In hindsight, hindsight is 2020. But yeah, I was like, what the fuck was I thinking, bro? Like, damn, I didn't really I wasn't bigging up myself, bro. I wasn't feeling like I could do better. What was it,
Yeah.
bro? And
Yeah.
and so I keep that in mind when I see that, and I remember being in situations like that, and it provides empathy. That provides me with a sense of empathy for the situation, instead of being a hypocrite and being like, "Oh, motherfucker, you need to just bounce. You should just cut." Like, I remember not cutting, not bouncing, and so I have a little bit more empathy for people in those situations. But yeah, it fucking sucks, man.
Yeah. It's hard. I haven't stayed too long. I never, but I've taken some things, like I've allowed some like narratives to, because of low self esteem at the time, probably I've allowed some narratives to like become truth, if you will, that weren't necessarily truth, because I wasn't able to stand,
Expound.
like oh hell no.
Okay, I get you. I get you.
No,
I feel you.
no, let's see. Okay, no, I've been fucking with you. Let's see.
I felt it though.
No, let's see. Um, it's like, okay, right? Let's think like when you're in a relationship, right? And it's like labels, right? I've allowed labels to be placed on me. That like, wait, I don't always do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, chill for a minute. Like where I always, always say, or should I say, always say, I try not to use the words always and never. Like, you always do this, you never do this, always never, right? And so like those types of things, I was allowing always and nevers to like become reality. And it was like, wait, yeah, I've done that before, but I don't. That's not me all day, every day, like how you're making it seem. You know what I'm saying? So,
Right.
but and whereas when I've been feeling healthier about myself, I was more quicker to be like, wait, hold up, pump the brakes. That's not what it is. Versus kind of accepting that, like, yeah, you're right. I'm so bad. I'm so terrible. And then I'm like, wait a minute. I only did that like one time in the past 6 months. Like, what is you talking about? You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's and for me, like, if it's a self esteem ain't where it needs to be, I'm not as yeah, I might not be as confident in myself. So then I might allow more outside bullshit in and accept some things that I might not normally accept. You know what I'm saying? So
Being there, man. That reminds me of, man. I was in a yeah. I was. I've been in that situation. I was been in a relationship that I knew it was gonna go bad eventually, but I just stayed in it, and it was like, I'll wait it out till it goes bad, and that's just mad uncharacteristic of myself. It's
mm,
because of whatever I was good about the relationship. I was having fun and you know partying and doing all kind of crazy shit, and it was just like just dating a fucking groupie. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna go bad eventually. Um, but I didn't. I knew in my mind. I even said out loud in my brain before, like, this ain't gonna end well. But let's just see. You know what I'm saying? Which which is mad uncharacteristic of who I was up to that point and who I am intrinsically, but for whatever weakness and whatever reasons I was at the time, I was in dealing with at the time, I stayed in that motherfucker against my own character and my own conscience, and it ended badly and very worse than I thought. Actually, you know what I mean? And yeah, the lesson stayed there. And again, this goes back to why I have a level of empathy and try not to be a hypocrite about when I see these kind of
Yeah.
situations, because
Yeah.
I literally have been right ground zero at those coordinates, and I knew it was not going to end well. I mean, I didn't know for sure, but I'm a thinker, and I try to use logical deduction, and I believe in probability and the laws of averages and all of these things and the likelihood of things, and I was like, oh, this ain't gonna end well, but I'm gonna stay till it ends. And the lesson is like, bruh, if you know it ain't gonna end well,
Yeah.
bounce, get up out of there. And I'll never, ever, ever stick around when I get that feeling in my head ever again, because I remember how it ended. You know what I'm saying? And I would never like to go through that situation again. I'll trust myself and rely on my self-esteem to remove myself before that happens.
Oh yeah, no, that makes sense. But sometimes we're hard headed. Sometimes we know. I mean, we typically know what the right answer is to do in a situation. Most times the answer's right there. It's what we choose to do with it is a different story. We usually
Yeah.
know. It's not usually that. Sometimes my man Bizzle said sometimes that snapper be snapping. Yeah.
Live and learn,
Yeah.
or you don't, and it happens again.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes might have to take it a couple times. Um, but yeah, a that's a big one. I want to in terms of social signs, expressing emotions, probably withdraw too. I would say from people. That's the top one, right? Withdrawing from friends, family. So that one.
Yeah, yeah. Like, yeah, I've seen that as well. Like, when you gotta hide your shit,
Yeah,
something's wrong, bro.
yeah. So that's a good point. That's a good one too, where you're ducking out on stuff and stuff like that. Um, let's go into getting the behavioral side, spiritual, and then wrap before we got to get out of here right on time for you. Got another joint. Um, behavioral signs: engaging in unhealthy coping mechanisms, excessive drinking, smoking, overeating, avoiding responsibilities, procrastination, lack of productivity, overworking, avoiding responsibilities altogether, increased reliance on social media technology for distraction, impulsive
Mm.
impulsive decision making without considering consequences. Wow, some. I mean, so some of the obvious ones there are obviously like, excuse me, excessive anything. Really, it could be a lot of things there.
Yeah.
Um, we know how that goes. Um, in terms of just addictions and things like that. I mean, there's just a lot of like, and it's funny those things kind of rear their heads in different ways. Um, or doing procrastination, lack of productivity, so just doing nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like we said,
Yeah.
talked about action earlier, right? Yeah.
Yeah. What's crazy is on this list is procrastination and lack of productivity is one, and also overworking is another one.
Yeah. Yeah. Excess either way, right?
Yeah, yeah. Imbalance on either side.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Um, yeah. I mean, people, people are different, and we pick different ways to deflect, dealing with what's going on inside. And like you said, the overall theme here is excess, and doing anything in excess and out of balance is not good for self.
Right.
Like, dude, like, yeah, anything, bro. My main thing right now is sugar in excess. I'm a sweet tooth. I
Really?
like fucking sugar, bro. I love sugar, man. I love that shit. But it's like I'm 51, bro, and although like my blood tests are like not, they're like you're cool now, but if you don't chill on your sugar, you won't be cool at some point,
Wow.
Yeah. And so I not to steer the conversation off to something more trivial, because I
Well,
mean I guess
do you
that's
eat when you're stressed? Do you eat sugar sweets when you're stressed?
no, nope. I don't eat. You know what? I don't think so. I don't know, because I'm a new non-weed smoker, right? I quit this year, January, like the first week of January. I think the last day I smoked was like January 4th.
Mm.
And that's what I did when I was stressed. So now I haven't really tracked it yet. Now I just eat shit. Like I always have something sweet. Like I got some Ben and Jerry's that I'm thinking about eating as soon as I get off of this. That's in the fridge. You know what I mean? I
Wow.
I don't know. Maybe that's interesting. Maybe I'll track it. But anyway, my point was it could be anything that's not cool in excess, and certainly uh, too much sugar is to the point to where it kills people every day, right? Literally does every single day. I was reading this book about how many people die from sugar related illness every day, and it's way more than smoking.
Wow.
But it's not promoted as such because it's legal, and our economy and so many big businesses run off the proliferation of it in our diets. Hope that was the right way of using that word. And so it's not demonized, but it kills way more people than actually smoking cigarettes
It's
every year.
I feel grateful then because I hate sweets. Like like
You don't say.
like shut up. Like I like I'd rather have like so people say leave room for dessert. I'd rather leave room for more like savory like food. Like I'm salty.
You said it, bro.
So
You said
I
it.
don't lay up. So no, but like it's just funny. Yeah, it doesn't appeal to me. Like cakes and stuff. Like even like I don't like cake cookies. Like I mean I like cheesecake, but I can only eat like a sliver, and that's it. I'm good for like a while. Like, I won't eat ice cream unless it's like above 85 degrees. Like, yeah. So, but I do. It's funny that but I got other issues though. Way more issues than sugar. So, but like, I'm just saying that because but I do know you're one of my many friends that have been like, yo, sugar is that is a big thing, man. You know what I'm saying? So it just so I would ask you, I would say then maybe oftentimes when we trade, I've seen it for myself. When we trade and we give up one thing, sometimes we transfer
Yeah,
something else.
that
So
could very well be true for me, man. Because I'm really making conscious efforts to not eat as much sugar, and I still, I'm still having my healthy supply. That said, something you said too, I fucking love salt too, bro. Like I'm salted out, bro. Like
that's not so
I
good for you either. I mean,
no, it's horrible, and that's something I actually need to cut down because my blood pressure was a little on the medium range, and the doctor was really like, you need to worry about both sugar and salt, you know, like basically what the doctor was like. He's like, you're good now, but if you don't curb things, you won't be, like both. Yeah, yeah. He's like, you got to retrain your palate.
yeah.
Actually, it was a she doctor. She was like, retrain your palate because you only crave these things because they're like drug like. Your body actually needs both of these, but when you process the wrong versions of them, especially sugar, because we need sugar and salt to survive, right? But the kind of sugar that we take in is usually the worst form. We can get it naturally in fruits and vegetables and shit, but we get the overly processed blah 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 blah. And salt, bro, like I'm soy sauce master, bro. I'm putting salt on everything, bro. Like I like all the salt, bro. Like yeah, it's bad. But anyway, This ain't a food show.
That's and also like, well, I mean, yeah, all right, yeah, but this is all. It's not a food show, but it is about personal wellness, and that stuff's important, man. And this is critical because especially for us as we're getting older, we're kind of taking it, being a little light about it, but it's important, man. Like these things. My thing is also really spicy stuff. Like my stomach is kind of crazy, and I continue to eat a lot of spicy stuff. Cheese, like like I'm
Man,
vegetarian, but I love some cheese, son. Like, damn, I'll eat like cheese. I'm cheese, cheese. Like so
yo,
that's what
bruh.
I mean. So I may not eat sweets, but I mean, it's not like I'm like whatever. So, but yeah, so this is important still, though, man. You know what I mean? This is still part of like what what things that impact our personal wellness, man. And shit, you know?
Well, yeah. Especially like in the minority community, specifically the black community, like our diet is horrible, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like we celebrate eating bullshit for real, and really don't take any kind of seriousness about how bad. Like we literally celebrate. Like I'm gonna eat mad Cheetos and Kool-Aid and hog necks and shit. Like and it's cultural. Like you know what I mean? Like yeah, black people drink the most Kool-Aid. That shit is like straight poison, bro. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? Like we stereotypically are the culture that's keeping Kool-Aid
Yo,
in business, right?
listen. So my best friend from Sandbox days is on here that Fires and Edward that I grew up with. That's my ace. We go way back to 30 something years. We were just talking about this. Like I would go to his crib as a young age, and it'd just be mad. Like he would make Kool-Aid, and that would just be mad sugar. Like, but that's why I was burst out laughing because it was just that's what we are, right? You talking about hog necks and stuff,
Yeah.
and pig's feet, and yeah,
Yeah, bro. And like, man, oh, I got a story too. I can't say his name. He's one of our homeboys, like a well-known rapper. I just don't want to put his name out there. Just he wouldn't care, but it's just that ain't my get
yeah,
down.
yeah.
He was like, we was on tour, and he was like, I don't know how it came up. We was just talking. He talk a lot on tour, and he was like, yo, man, I was like, yo, I used to love the Minute Maid fruit punch joints growing up. Like in the carton, I used to just drink that shit. He was like, yo, me too, but now fuck that shit. And I was like, why? He was like, yo, I had this aunt, and she lived a cool life or whatever, and she ended up dying from something or whatever. I don't remember exactly what it was. And he was like, when she passed away, they did the autopsy, and the doctor was like, yo, what is there something that she ate a lot? You know what I'm saying? Was there anything that she drank a lot? And they're like, what? He was like, anything like bright red, anything like burgundy red. And my boy was like, he was like, yeah, she drank a carton of Minute Maid fruit punch every day. He was like, bro, her kidneys and liver are fluorescent burgundy, bro. Like, they was like, we cut her open and her shit was fluorescent burgundy. And he was like, ever since then, bro, I don't touch that shit, bro. You know what I'm saying? I can't say his name on air, bro, but I'll let you know later, man. He wouldn't even trip off this probably, but yeah, ever ever since I mean, rest is dead, but ever since that day, I was like, I'm not fooling with Minute Maid fruit punch. And it made me think about like that was one of the treats that my Jamaican grandma would buy us. Like she wouldn't buy a bunch of American treats for us, but she would buy that and I was like, damn, I wonder what my kidneys look like, bro.
Oh,
Well, fluorescent burgundy though, like bright, like shining, like glow in the dark. You know what I mean?
oh my god. Oh
Yeah, I haven't touched that shit since then. It actually tastes great, but yeah, I leave it alone, bro.
yeah, I'm, I'm sorry to hear so much. That's why my husband is no longer here. Poor diet, blood pressure, had a heart attack. So
What happened?
somebody said that's why my husband is no longer here. Poor diet, high blood pressure, high and had a heart attack.
Oh, I'm not getting none of these, bro.
You don't see the comments?
Nah, they stopped for me.
IG be doing IG shit. So that's what someone just said. And then my man said, he said, I can't lie, I'll crush some berry punch, not on the regular. We used to fuck with that orange drink at McDonald's. That was our shit. That
Man, everybody like orange
orange
drink.
drink,
They called
nigga.
it drink. It wasn't even juice.
Yeah, orange. They didn't because they
That remind me of Dave Chappelle, like juice. What the fuck is juice? We want drink. Man,
Oh
talk
man,
about being systematically poisoned and loving it, bro. And I'm not pointing fingers. I'm talking about me too. You know,
of course.
yeah.
Yeah, we definitely got to do better in that area. I mean, that's huge, man. I mean, I look at some people's like shopping carts, and sometimes it's a necessity. I mean, unfortunately, it costs more money to eat better. But
Definitely costs more money to eat better, bro.
I mean,
Definitely.
so you know what it is. So,
Yeah.
but let's see. All right, where we at? We got 10 minutes,
All
9 minutes.
right. Spiritual and existential
Yes,
signs
sir.
of poor self-wellness, feeling disconnected from purpose or meaning in life, lack of gratitude or appreciation for what you have, feeling lost, directionless, and unfulfilled, struggling with personal values or beliefs. Yeah. Well, again, that goes. Yeah.
I don't know. Go ahead, man. I mean, again, this is all important because I'm just thinking about my own life, really. So that's,
I mean,
we do these. I mean, I'm not even thinking about other people. This is why these shows and builds are important to me. I don't care who's here. We're gonna get this up on the YouTube channel, but I mean, I care, of course, but it's like I'm getting. For me, it's like it's smacking me across the fucking, So
I hear you, bro. Like, yeah, all of that hit home for me too, bro. Like, man, I went through like a real strong period of some of these. Like, I don't really ever feel like I've had a lack of gratitude or appreciation. I was just kind of wired thankful. Um, I've never been like fuck this shit, like, because I've always been like, why it gotta be so bad? But I'm happy I'm here. I've been there. So, but as far as feeling lost, directionless, unfulfilled, struggling with personal values or beliefs, more so the first one, and also feeling disconnected from purpose or meaning in life. Like, I did some serious soul searching during COVID, bro. Like, and I was one of those people that, like, I spent a lot of time alone because I lived alone. And so I spent like a lot of time just by myself, like, and I remember talking to other people who were like around people and feeling like they were trapped in the house and they needed some time to themselves. I was like, bro, or sis, or whoever it may be, I would take being trapped around people and at least having a place in the house where I can get away and be by myself than just being alone by myself all the time for months. You know what I'm saying? But it did allow me the opportunity to think through a lot of things without distraction.
right.
But yeah, that's it. And those feelings led to me focusing on better self wellness. Like, as soon as, gyms were one of the first things to open, I got me a gym membership. You know what I'm saying? Got my little buff plea on for a second. You know what I mean? I was in there running miles on the treadmill and on the bike. And yeah, though, it's definitely, I agree with these being possible signs of poor self-wellness. Now, when it comes to the lack of gratitude or appreciation for what you have, I'm like, again, I was raised to be grateful. I don't know if it was just some Jamaican shit, you know what I'm saying? It's some immigrant shit, but I was always raised to be grateful, and I'm glad I was. And I've had disdain for people who really sit on being unappreciated unappreciative or not having gratitude and feeling entitled. It's a pet peeve of mine. Um, so when it's people who are just like seem like they're doing well and they're like that, it kind of rubs me wrong.
Mm.
But when I have some insight into maybe they're going through something and that's why they're like that, I look at it a little differently. Granted, I should look at it like that all the time, but I'm human and I'm flawed and I have things to work on. So entitled, unappreciative motherfuckers get on my nerves.
Right.
Once I'm aware of there being a root issue that's causing them to be like that, and that's just not their default nature, then I try to implore more empathy. But I do agree here on this list that it's not it's very poor self wellness if you're walking around like that. It's painful poor self wellness when you don't feel like you have purpose or meaning in life, because your life itself, the fact that you're alive, I believe, is the reason. It has all the meaning is just in the fact of your presence, and when you're disconnected from that, I can imagine the self torment that comes with that. So I have more empathy for that situation than people just walking around with no gratitude because they feel shitty on the
Of
inside.
course.
But just my 2 cents. And again, I always say this: I'm no authority on none of this shit. I'm just speaking how I feel and trying to grow into a
Right.
better person.
Right.
And I think a part like that all stems from even recognizing feeling these ways about these things. It's a pathway to me to feel and be the best I could be.
Yeah, no, that's real talk. So I want to make sure we honor your time. You got to get out of here, but before
I,
we
I,
do,
I got like I got 5 minutes.
yeah,
Well, 3 minutes.
I want to I want to share. I want to share. I want to each share one thing. You can go first, like that you either did today or in the past couple of days or whatever. Ideally, it's something every day that we're doing, right? But that's one or multiple things that you've done for your self wellness, personal wellness, like positive, a positive thing. Wait,
Okay, you first or me?
you go ahead.
Well, this may seem a little trivial, and it's not like saving the world or nothing, but I've been taking uh AI session courses from a brother that I know who's well versed in generative AI, and he's a hip hop dude, and he grew up listening to our music and stuff, but we've grown a friendship, so he's a friend of mine at this point, and he's been giving me private sessions on generative AI. Like I know I'm not clueless about it. I've done my own experimentation, but again, he's someone who's well versed. And I've been earlier today I had my second session with him, and I'm learning a lot, man. And I enjoy it. I enjoy the being taught. I enjoy learning something, new skills. Um, it's something that I think is. I already invest in mad AI companies. I believe in what AI is gonna do to shape, and I'm not talking about good or bad. It's here. It's not going nowhere, and it's shaping our future in an exponential pace. Well, no matter what you think about it, there's a saying in the AI world: AI isn't going to take your job. Someone who knows how to use AI is going to take your job. And
Mm-hmm.
that's a common saying in the AI world. I've been rocking with AI for like learning about it since I've started investing in it, like for the past however many years. Some of my investments are in there. So that's what I did today that I got a good feeling about. I like, at this age, how often I'm not enrolled in any school, how often do you sit down as a student and learn a particular skill from somebody whose sole purpose in front of you is to teach this to you? So you have to be in the mode of a student to receive the information. And I like the feeling. I like what I'm learning, and I felt good about it. And I walked away from it like I like that. And that's a version. That's some self wellness I did today. I learned something that, you know, most of what I do every day I know really well, and I'm learning something I already know well. I'm learning more about it: music production,
Mm.
music business, marketing. These are all things I've been doing for decades, and I like learning about those things more and more every day. But this is something more foreign to me. I'm more ground zero with it. And even though I'm been computer literate my whole life, my dad was a computer systems analyst and programmer for decades. For no training. He just got the job and learned it on the job in the late '70s, and just did the Jamaican wiggle, got in there with it. So I'm not computer illiterate. I've been computer literate my whole life, but I like sitting and learning, and I felt good about the experience when I was done with it.
Mm. No, that's dope. That's
Thank you,
dope.
sir.
Uh, yeah, that's good shit, man. I mean, my ears perked up because I've been resistant to AI. I really have, and only recently, in the past few months, past year or so, have I been like, all right, I can't. I mean, I've been really resistant, and so but I've been using it lately more for things and stuff like that, and really trying to. I was like, man, I can like plot out some real dope shit. So so I'm glad you're sharing that though, just as an aside, like about. So I need to pick your brain about your man, maybe.
Yeah, we'll chop it.
But yeah, hold on. Here's what. So this is what I haven't read any. I haven't read any today yet. So I'll say one thing. Personal wellness today was just I FaceTime my grandson, and that's always dope for me. That's like a good that relieves anything that I'm dealing with. Like seeing him and vibing with him on the FaceTime, it's the best shit. So that's actually a thing for wellness for me. But I'm reading this book. Started reading this book recently, but this dude
I
maybe
read that.
yeah. So
Great book.
yeah, so I need this is how I get motivated. Like I don't need pats on the back. I need like kicks in the ass. So
That's an
um
excellent book, bro.
yeah, I'm in the first I'm about third chapter in. It's so that's yeah, so that's what I've been I'm trying to read some of it every day.
That's dope.
Um
Oh man, that's an excellent read. As a matter of fact, you got me like I'm gonna circle back and read it again. It's he's one of one.
I know.
That dude is one. He's one of one, bro. He's an anomaly, and yeah, man, that's
Yeah,
dope.
yeah,
Thank you for sharing that because like I'm gonna circle back. You know how when you read something and then you go through some life and you get more and different things from it when you circle back. And I think it's been some years removed. I feel like I got that when it dropped. So yeah,
yeah.
that's dope, bro.
No, dope. So yeah, David Goggins never finished. So we're gonna let you get out of here. We actually got Tajay in an hour with my man. We'll be talking some high road stuff. So that'll be fun. So
I'm gonna check that out, man, because I'm gonna be done. I got this UK interview. It's not gonna last. You're not doing it right now. It's an hour from
it's
now,
at
right?
10. It's at 10. Jump on if you want, yo. I mean, you could. I didn't
Well,
want to.
you'll see me in the chat, man. If I feel it, I'll hop in. I don't want to get in Tajay shine, but I'll
No,
definitely.
well,
I'm
so
a.
just so you know, real quick, it's a it's an interview about. I was going to ask all of you. It's a build about Hyro and Souls of Mischief. We're going to talk about what Tajay because Tajay's got going on too, but it's just really about Hyro, like just impact of Hyro, so everything. So, but yeah, we'll feel it out. But either way, it's going to be it's going to be on this channel,
All right.
5E joint. So I'll send it to you though. Just if you could jump in, whatever, you know.
Word
But
up, brother.
good luck with your UK thing, and we're gonna let you get out of here though. So this has been what is it, episode 21,
21
talking.
in the books, man.
Yeah, so I mean, and we're back next month. I always forget because I got so many shows going on, but we're back next month. That's for third Monday typically
Yeah.
of every month, but we make it work. So we make it work. Thank you, brother. This has been a good one. I mean, I got a lot out of this. Thank you to our small audience for contributing. And even, like I said, this will be up on our YouTube channel, even though IG bugging with us now. This will be up, and all of them are archived on there. So you should check out all of our prior episodes. So,
All
uh,
right.
yeah, fam.
My brother, it's always a pleasure. Till next time, blessings and love to you and the family. It's one
Yeah,
of my high point. This is one of my favorite things to do, man. So bless your
yeah. I
life, brother.
appreciate you, man, so much, man. This is one of my my favorite joints too, and this one was particularly special for me, helpful for me, just because I just I got a lot out of this personally. Like, so I mean, I needed to hear this, so and have this conversation. So I appreciate you as always, man. You know what I'm saying? So everybody, we rocking out at 10 o'clock on this channel with Save the Hip Hop Culture. And our man Tajay, Souls of Mischief, 2A plus might jump on or whatever. You're gonna see what up. So, but talking Hyro at 10 o'clock. So we'll talk soon, brother. I appreciate you.
Much love, brother. Salute.
All right, salute everybody. Be good.